So first, welcome to South Fort Myers High School. I'm the proud principal, Ed Matthews, and yes, you are the best and brightest of Lee County, Florida. We are so excited to have you here. This is a bonus activity. It's all about adding value to you and to your future life. You personally, your family, and our community. We have the best of the best from our area for you to learn from for you to ask questions, and hopefully at the end of this event, we will have some of you pick up some mentorship opportunities with these individuals so that you can learn how to make money, make a difference, challenge yourself, and have the best life possible. So take advantage of this opportunity, listen, don't mess around. House rules here at South Fort Myers High School, and I'm not trying to be rude, but no hats, please, no sunglasses, no whatever's on your ears. Honestly, guys, I want you to be here. And if you want to be here, then act like you want to be here. If you don't want to be here, then I'll just walk you out the back and you can wait for the rest of your class. But I want people that are excited, I want people that want to learn, and most importantly, I want you to be successful. So take advantage of this opportunity because it's only happening today. What you do from today determines the rest of your life. So without further ado, where's Mr. Spicker? Please, whoa. I'm gonna count to three. On the count of three, I want the loudest applause possible, okay? 1, 2. I didn't say three. I knew I'd catch somebody, you were still sleeping. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here. My name's Rob Spicker. I'm the Assistant Director in the Communications Department for the school district. I just want to welcome you. Thank you for being here and taking advantage of this opportunity. As Principal Matthews was explaining, this is a powerful group, this Elite Eight that you're about to meet, get the chance to learn from, listen to, and get the chance to ask your questions to. So take the knowledge that they provide you today with you to whatever you want to do next, a career, a college, wherever you're headed, they can really give you some good advice. So hopefully you'll be able to take it in and enjoy it. My job, as much as anything, is to help facilitate the questions. I started off by asking each of them a couple of questions. Then we get to the students and make sure that everybody gets a chance to speak. We'll get you out of here with some instructions at the end of the day, but we're glad you're here. Really looking forward to this opportunity. Hopefully it turns out as well for you as we think it's going to, because we're excited about what we've put together. All of this is really thanks to one teacher here at South Fort Myers, so it's my pleasure to bring him out first, and that is Kevin Schell. Kevin, come on out.
You're supposed to dance. All right. Well, thank you for being here, everyone. And first of all, I want to tell you you're going to be on TV today. So please be smiling out there. Enjoy yourself. We are taping this show, and it will air on TV 20. So make sure you're shining bright out there. First of all, I want to tell you just a touch of background. This is a testimony that dreams really come true. And my dream was for my students when business and education comes together. And you're going to see that tonight, when business and education come together. You're about to see 8 highly successful businessmen and women who have given up their time to be here. So please give them your ultimate respect. All of you guys were given stuff when you walked in the door tonight. Please write down something that they say and teach it to someone back at your school. Well, I always feel when you take something back and you teach it, even if you teach it to your parents, you're learning at the highest level. And I guarantee you will remember it more. Remember, we are who we hang out with, and be careful who you allow in your circle. And I'm proud to say that these Elite Eight that are coming up here are part of my circle. I wish I had something like this when I was young. That is the reason why I came up with this idea, because we just didn't have things like this. And one of my dreams was to bring all the schools together, not just mine. Where's Cypress Lake High School at? Where's Cypress Lake? Make some noise, Cypress Lake. I am a graduate of Cypress Lake High School. I am a Panther. So that's even more exciting that you're here. Your DJ over there, DJ Nate, is a Panther as well. So he is a living and breathing example of an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur who has learned a lot of lessons. And just remember, business changes lives. It changes lives. I wish I could take you into my life, what it was as a young person, and see where I am today. You guys, I think, would be pretty amazed. My message to you also is to work for a great leader. And today is all about leadership. And when you work for a great leader, I think really great things like this can happen. And I'm blessed to work for a great leader. Can you guys please put your hands together for Mr. Matthews? Because without him, I couldn't do this stuff. He inspires me every day, and he allows us teachers to be creative. And you talk about a positive dude who sets a culture, that's a guy who's doing big things. So I want to thank him very much. Speaking of leaders, I'm also very excited the Elite Eight are coming out here. You're going to see an inspiring woman who runs our entire school district. One of the biggest employers in Southwest Florida is this school system, and she is running it. She's very dynamic. I am putting together some of the best and most dynamic leaders for you guys to meet today. I have just a few people I want to recognize. All the teachers, please stand up. All the teachers, can you guys please put your hands together for all these leaders? Every one of you, I thank you. I know when another teacher asks you to do something, there's a lot to do, putting a feel-like trip this together, but please, kids, students, please tell them thank you. Being grateful is a great attribute. And also, I want to thank Mrs. Schultz, who helped me with the Hospitality Academy, setting up one of the rooms. I want to thank Miss Vera, Miss Lacira, always helping us out. Adam Wright. We had an illness with our one of our people who work here, and Mr. Adam Wright from the school district stepped up, and he's filming all this for TV. Can you guys please put your hands together for Adam Wright? And his staff. Thank you, every one of you guys. So the wisdom you gain today, as we bring these Elite Eight to the stage, I want you guys to watch. These Elite Eight didn't let gender, race, cancer, dyslexia, or fear stop them. I want you guys to pay close attention. They will share their wisdom of their journey. And if you pay attention, you might one day be sitting up here at one of the Elite Eight. So have fun, stay awake, and don't worry about missing what's going on in those phones today. And you're going to really make this an elite day. At this time, we're going to bring on the Elite Eight. And back to Rob.
All right, that's your welcome. Is everybody ready? I'm not as good as DJ Nate, but can I hear it? Are you ready? Yeah. That was much better. Let's get this program started. Let's meet the Elite Eight.
A former teacher, an assistant principal, a principal, and even a district leader. She has served the school district of Lee County for more than 30 years. Now she's Lee County's first elected school district superintendent in over 50 years, working every day to improve the school system. Introducing Dr. Denise Carlin. A skilled entrepreneur, a former professional ice hockey referee, president and founder of 3 local businesses, a family man who works with his sons and wife every day, and the employer of more than 190 skilled workers in Florida and North Carolina. Introducing Bill Daubmann. An expert engineer, the driving force behind countless successful projects, a champion for education, healthcare, and industry excellence, and chairman of the board for B&I Contractors, one of the largest commercial, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing contracting firms in Southwest Florida. Introducing Gary Griffin. A Lifetime Achievement winner in PR and business, an Advertising Hall of Fame honoree, an internationally acclaimed award winner, and a champion of innovation and local business. After founding her home-based business 33 years ago, this Elite 8 leader turned priority marketing into one of the largest full-service marketing companies in the state. Introducing Teri Hansen. Here's a local legend and inspiration to many. This Elite 8 leader is blazing a trail in the fire department. After achieving his dream to become the division chief of training, a few years later, he made history as the first black man to be appointed as the Fort Myers fire chief. Today, he's all about inspiring others to find their inner fire. Introducing Fire Chief Tracy McMillion. A true hometown hero, a champion for this community, a leader in and out of the courtroom, a mentor, and a proud sponsor of youth sports programs, including Dunbar High School. From partnering with nonprofits and supporting local students, here's someone whose legacy is built on a continuous circle of giving back more than he's received. Introducing Attorney Joe North. A trailblazing entrepreneur, a well-connected businessman, a mentor to future leaders, an international author with a book in multiple languages. Over 4 decades, he co-founded 4 successful organizations, led teams of thousands to make over $500 million in revenue. Today, he is semi-retired, but still connecting people, capital, and ideas. Introducing Ron Rice. An accomplished author of 2 books, a well-known TV and radio show host, a sought-after public speaker, a certified financial planner professional, and the founder and CEO of the Advantage Retirement Group. His expertise has helped countless individuals secure their financial futures. He is also dedicated to mentoring emerging leaders. Introducing Alfie Tounjian.
All right, there they are, your Elite 8. How about a big welcome to all of them now as a group?
So, one microphone between you and Teri.
So thank you everybody for coming and being a part of our panel. I'm going to start off with a simple question just to help you get to know them a little bit better. Looking for 30 to 60 seconds, a quick answer about, a little more about who you are or how you got here today. And to make it simple, I'll just go right down the row. So that means, Ron, you're first. Tell the crowd a little bit more about yourself. And Chief's got the mic for you.
Well, I'm probably the only person up here that didn't go to college. And you read my book, you'll get to find out the dumb mistakes I made. But one of the mistakes I made that ended up turning into a real bonanza was becoming a salesman. Today, I have connections, including 3 presidents all over the world, which have allowed me to achieve all of my dreams. So remember, it's never what you know, it's who you know.
All right, Chief, quick introduction.
So good morning, good morning, good morning. So I am so blessed to know Ron now. So it's not about what I know, it's who I know. I know him now. So it's good to be in his Rolodex. But my name is Tracy McMillion. I am the proud fire chief of the City of Fort Myers Fire Department. I've been in the fire service roughly about 30 years now. I love what I do, and I love bringing the energy to each and every environment that I attend or I'm a part of. And so hopefully today we'll be able to actually share a little bit more with you guys today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gary Griffin. I am a native of Fort Myers, and I'm a proud graduate of Fort Myers High School. Are there any greenies in the room? My story is I went to the University of Florida, received an engineering degree. During that time, I actually interned at a company called B&I Contractors when I was 20 years old. I returned 2 days after I graduated from Florida and started working there, and I've spent my entire career building that company. And it's been a great ride. We started with 90 employees and about $10 million in sales when I started there in 1986. This year we'll do $270 million in sales with about 1,200 employees. Dropped out. Despite what you may hear, there's probably some great career paths that you can follow that might take you to multiple jobs, but there's a lot of great career paths where you can stick with something over a period of time and really make something special, and that's what I've been able to do, and I'm blessed to have been able to do it. So we're looking forward to talking to you today.
Good morning. Good morning. Let's hear it. Come on, high school students. Good morning. I love it. Good morning. So my name is Denise Carlin, and I am proud to say that I am your brand new superintendent of schools right here in the school district of Lee County. I'm really honored to have this position. A little bit about me. I'm almost a native like Gary. I moved here when I was 2 years old. I'm one of 7 children. There's 6 girls and a boy, so lucky boy, right? Look how lucky he was to have 6 sisters. Grew up in Cape Coral, and again, can you all hear me? Yep. Okay. Grew up in Cape Coral, wound up going through USF for all of my degrees, my bachelor's, my master's, and my doctorate. I'm the first person in my family ever to have a doctorate, so that was a really big deal to my dad before he passed away in 2011. Like I said, I was elected as superintendent on November 5th of this year, sworn into office on November 19th, and it's been off and running since then. I will tell you, it is a true privilege to get to serve as your superintendent of schools. Some people are like, what's that job about? Really, it's about leading people. That's really what it's about, and providing a great experience for you as students. So you're the reason, you're my why. I retired 18 months ago, decided to run for it, and the reason I ran for the office was because of you. I care about this community. I want our students to have the best education possible, and that's what we're after. So thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Well, my name is Alfie Tounjian. I grew up born in California, grew up in Miami and Tampa, and we did move for 20 years in '88 to Maryland. Came back here to Southwest Florida. Knew nothing really about Fort Myers, because I lived in Tampa and Miami, but the best city. We live in paradise and really work in paradise. So this is unbelievable, and it's growing. So it's going to be a great opportunity for many of you out there, because there's more businesses coming in here. So I'm looking forward to see what the future brings. And I did beat Ron because I had a semester of college. Okay, but I did go back. I did get my CFP, and that's equivalent, they say, of a master's degree. So, you have to work hard, and don't let people tell you can't do it. That's the main thing. There's a lot of people out there, naysayers out there, and but don't let people steal your dream. Have a vision and go after it, and we're going to talk about that today.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Bill Daubmann. As you saw from the intro there, at one point I was a professional hockey referee, but boy did my career take a change. So I went from throwing people out of hockey games and into the showers to actually making the shower doors so that they can enjoy themselves. So we're a family-owned business. We've got my wife and 2 sons. We have 192 employees statewide. We have 10 My Shower Door locations throughout Florida, and just recently we opened in Charlotte, North Carolina, as we get ready to grow our business. Additionally, we opened a manufacturing plant off Alico Road, right behind that Amazon distribution center, and we supply glass through other glass shops as well as our own stores of My Shower Door. So anybody looking to get into manufacturing or the construction business, there's going to be a lot of people up here, and feel free to ask questions when it's time. Thank you.
Well, good morning. My name is Joe North, and I was born and raised right here in Lee County in Fort Myers in Dunbar. And about 42, 43 years ago, I was sitting where you guys are sitting, because I graduated from Cypress Lake High School back in 1983 but when I started high school, we had 4 high schools in the entire district. Now I think we're probably up to something new. How many we got now? 14. Wow. How we've grown, and we're continuing to grow, all for you. So what I do is, I'm a lawyer. I practice personal injury law, helping people after they've been the victim of unfortunate incidents. And I'm happy to say that I've got my son, Joseph Jr., also working with me. So I'm thinking that I did something right when I've got my son coming after me, following me in my footsteps.
Good morning. First of all, I want to say how fabulous you all look this morning. I saw you getting off the buses, and I was really impressed. So congratulations on coming prepared today. I'm Teri Hansen. I'm also a native of Fort Myers. I graduated from Cypress Lake High School a couple years and had a hymn. So let's go Panthers! Just so blessed to be here. I own Priority Marketing. I'm the founder. We are a full-service marketing, advertising, public relations company. We're getting ready to kick off our 33rd year in business. I've been in marketing and advertising in Southwest Florida for 40 years, graduated from the University of South Florida. Today, we are one of the largest full-service agencies in the state of Florida. And so when, Rob, when you asked how do we get here, I live among this amazing elite group. I feel very honored and very blessed. But I think how do I get here? A lot of prayer, a lot of passion, and a lot of perseverance. That's how I got here, and I'm so blessed to be counted among you today.
All right, so there's our Elite Eight. You know a little bit more about them. We've broken them up a little bit into 2 kind of groups, leadership and entrepreneurship. So a question for me to get things started. First about leadership. And Dr. Carlin, the first question is for you. Your product is people as an educator. So I'm wondering just how does that influence your leadership style?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Rob. And everything we do is about people. Remember what I said about why did I run to become superintendent? It's about you. It's about you as people. I care about this community, the people in it, and that starts with you. You are our future. So how does it influence my daily work? Any organization is going to be only as successful as the people that work in it. I'm a huge believer in that. And so what does that require? As the leader, you need to invest in people. That's what I've spent 32 years in education doing, not just in my classroom when I was a teacher, putting my whole heart and soul into the work, but also as a leader. When I became an assistant principal, a principal, worked my way up to chief of staff, which was the number 2 position in this district. It was always about investing in people. How can you help them grow? How can you help them do their job better? How can you remove barriers for them so they can do their job better? So that's what I see myself as, you know, the person who removes those barriers, who helps empower people to do the best job that they can do each and every day. That's my job as superintendent. That's a job of a leader.
Thank you. Chief McMillion, you lead a department, men and women, who really, their job is to put their lives on the line and maybe make that ultimate sacrifice. So how do you lead and motivate them with that kind of being the underlying premise of what they're supposed to do?
Rob, oh, there you go. That's a great question. So first and foremost, if you guys just do me one quick favor, look over to the left. Look at the person next to you. That was your right. That's okay, though. Now look over to your right. And so one of the things that you'll see real quick is that everybody's different. And so the way that I lead is through authenticity, being my true self. I'm Tracy. That's who I am. So in every environment that I go into, whether it's talking to the mayor, the city council, my firefighters, you all, I'm going to be Tracy. That's the only way I can be. And so the way I lead is just by being authentic each and every day, being myself, whether it be laughter, whether it be high fives, whether it be hugs, and then also making sure we have a clear-cut vision of communication. And that's one of the things that if I can impress upon you all as leaders, is the key to good leadership is good communication. If you're able to take the vision and the mission of what you're trying to get accomplished, and you can communicate that to somebody and they understand it and they can receive it and know what they're doing, they will be engaged, they'll be empowered, and they'll be able to make it happen. So as a leader, I try to be myself each and every day, and I try to communicate the vision of what we're trying to get accomplished well enough where someone understands it and they can actually act upon it. So when I ask someone to go into a fire, it's on fire, there's smoke, it's hot, people are burning, people are screaming, oh my gosh, what do we do, what do we do? It's through that authenticity and making sure the vision is clear. Go in there, put the fire out, and save those lives. Simple as that. Be yourself and learn to talk.
All right, thank you, Chief. Gary, the next question is for you on leadership. You're in the construction industry. It has grown tremendously. Southwest Florida has in your time here, all of our times here. So how's the leadership challenge of being poised to always be sort of one step ahead?
So when we made the decision as a company 30 years ago plus to grow and to expand our market presence in all of South Florida rather than just in Southwest Florida, we started with something that you wouldn't think of. We started with culture. We needed to make sure we had a culture that was common amongst all of our employees. I tell people our core values have to inform every decision we make every day when we're representing our company. And our core values are quality, integrity, teamwork, and safety. And so you may have core values, you may not have thought about it, they don't have to be what I just told you, but if you want to be successful and bring a group of people together to achieve great things, you have to have a common culture, and you have to talk about it all the time and remind people of how important it is, and that's really been the beginning of our growth trip. The second part is real different, but it's important. I think culture is the most important piece. But the second thing is you have to be willing to invest. You can't very often grow if you're not willing to invest in your company, whether it's time, whether it's dollars, whether it's people and training. These are all things that will enable growth. We did try to grow occasionally without investing properly, and we hit a wall. And then we realized we made a mistake, and we invested. So that may mean money. It may mean debt. But if you're going to grow, you better have a plan and an understanding of what you need to invest in with people, with dollars, with facilities, with technology, whatever it happens to be. But if you have a great culture and you're willing to invest in your company or in your business that you're hopefully going to start someday, then I think you have a really great chance to be extremely successful.
All right, thank you, Gary. Now we're going to ask our entrepreneurs here about their work experience or maybe some advice and some wisdom that they have. So, Bill, the first question is to you, and it's really about how do you know you're hiring the right people to work for you? I mean, if you're going to grow the business, you've got to bring people in. So how do you bring the right people in?
That's really a tough one because during interview process, you really don't get to know the person that well. But we try and hire on attitude. It's really not about experience. And I know a lot of you are going to be putting out resumes and they want to look at your experience. But to me, it's more important to have an attitude because we've done what Gary said. We've invested in training. We will train you if you want to learn. But if you have the right attitude, you can show the management that you can grow in that business. And we want you part of our team. Most of our managers right now started off either unloading trucks or doing installations in the field. But they learned the process, they learned the culture of the business and carried it and moved it forward. Now they're up and managing stores. So we've got the new manager in Charlotte, worked down here in Fort Myers for 8 years before he moved on to get into a management position. Same thing for our Orlando store and our Tampa store. So we like to grow from within. So we'd start here, as long as you have a good attitude with teamwork and you can work with somebody and want to grow, and then just work on the culture. I couldn't emphasize that enough, Gary. Culture is the key to keep everybody together and moving in the same direction.
Yeah, I just want to, you know, there's social media out there, and, you know, do you ever look at social media, their Facebook page or their TikTok page or whatever, to see how they act when they're not interviewing? So,
absolutely, the HR department does that. They ask for, I want to say reviews from other people that they've worked for. But yeah, we will look at social media. So what Alfie is referring to is be careful what you post, because if you're looking for, unless you're going to work for yourself, and even then, watch what you post. But social media is very, very dominant now. And Teri will emphasize that. She's got a whole department of just social media people. So social media has been taking over, and it's very important that you look and you think to yourself, is this something that I can look back on in 10 years and still be proud of it? That's important. Thanks for that.
All right, thank you. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I think every head here was shaking yes. So as young students in high school thinking about social media, what you post now, all of them agree it can have an impact, so be thinking about that. A good piece of advice. Teri, let's go to you. Priority marketing is a powerhouse. So what attributes of yours do you think help lead to that success, or what attributes are necessary for success?
Well, that's a big question. First of all, I just want to underscore what Alfie and Bill said. Just a reminder that the internet is forever. So when you do put things out there, it never goes away. It can always be found. So it really is an important, we've never lived in a time like we live in now. You know, I think what you're going to hear today is all of us have so many common responses in terms of what has helped make our organizations or businesses successful. Truly, it is building and creating values for your company. And so when we, having grown to one of the largest full-service agencies in the state of Florida, we have done that through, again, being very, very select in who we hire. It's very much about the fit. If you're going to grow an organization, you have to be careful who you bring into your organization, because it's like if you bring the wrong people in, if you bring in people who are negative, who are gossips, who are pot stirrers, instigators, that will be like a cancer in your organization. And so being very careful, very select, we take our time in hiring people, and because we want them to fit our culture, they have to have our shared values. And then as an organization, my heart and my passion really is people. And people are the heartbeat of an organization. And if you don't invest, one, you hire right, two, you invest in them. You invest in people before you invest in your business. A lot of businesses will put money into things and not their people. And my heart and my passion is about the people and about investing in people and growing, developing, training, giving them opportunity, advancing them, because the people are the ones that deliver your business. And if you don't take care of them, they don't take care of your business. And so it's really, that's my heart and my passion and how I've approached business.
Thank you, Teri. Right next to you, Joe, let's ask you a question. Just when you look at the group of students here, any advice on how they can choose a career path or a direction to head in?
Yes, so I would start with first asking a question, and that is, by a show of hands, do you have something that you love to do? All right. And of whatever it is that you love to do, how would you feel if you could get paid doing it? Show of hands. All right, so my point is this. We have 24 hours in a day. On most jobs, you're going to work 8 hours. I'm no mathematician, but I think that's a third of your day. So what that means to me is make sure you're doing something that you enjoy. Make sure that you're doing something that you love. And actually, in any particular industry, if you find an industry that you want to do, that you want to be a part of, within that industry, there's subsets of things that you can love. For instance, you have the practice of law, which is what I do. But within the practice of law, you can practice criminal law, real estate law, family law. I happen to do personal injury and accident cases because I have found great joy in helping people when they really need that hand to guide them through horrible situations. I get a lot of satisfaction out of that. I don't think I would get as much satisfaction out of, say, handling real estate cases. So I let someone else do that. So the point is, when you're thinking about a career that you want, whatever industry it is, make sure that it's something that you're going to enjoy, because you will be doing that for the majority of your life. And you don't want to get stuck at doing something that you do not love.
Thank you, Joe. I'll stay on that side of the panel. Alfie, to you, a question about in your business venture, when did you realize you had reached a level of success, like you had turned the corner? We all know it's hard. When did you feel like you had, gotten successful?
Well, I've been doing this this year is 42 years. So I would say when I put the fear aside, I didn't like talking in front of people. I didn't like it. I never thought I'd be on TV. I have a TV show. I never thought I'd do radio. But it really wasn't until I started reaching out and doing things that I felt uncomfortable. Then I started getting more comfortable with it, and then the success started coming faster. So I would have to say you have to put yourself out and do things that are uncomfortable, because if everything's comfortable, then you're not stretching yourself. You're not stretching yourself, and like Kevin earlier said about the people that you hang with are the people that you're going to be the most like. And when I was growing up, I'm glad we didn't have social media, I can tell you that, because I was not a good kid. I just wasn't a good kid. So I would just say, stretch yourself and do things that put you in an uncomfortable situation. And like Joe was saying, that you might not start with the job that you love, okay? I didn't start with the job that I love, but I always do. I would work for myself, but I had to work for somebody else before I got to do what I'm doing now. So just because you're not doing what you want to do, this is a tough age. I've been praying on this. This is a tough age because a lot of you are 17, 18 years old, and now you're going to be out of school pretty soon, and you got to go into adulthood, and it changes. Things change, and it's not going to be as good as you think it is, and it's going to be, you just can't get yourself in a rut. You just got to tell yourself that this is just the start. I'm building blocks to get to where I want to be. So don't get discouraged. Okay, don't get discouraged.
All right, good advice. One last question. This one's for you, Ron. Saw on your LinkedIn that you got your PhD from the School of Hard Knocks. No doubt about that. So what do you think the skills are that are necessary to reach the career goals you set or that this group might set for themselves?
Rob, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't like to read, quit and start reading. A well-read person is a wealthy person. If you cannot write in logical sentences, all right, learn, practice, do. The person who has the ability to write and the ability to read is going to be ahead of those who do not. Whatever you think you know today will not mean a can of beans 15 years from now. Whether you're in technology or internet or manufacturing, I can promise you with technology and the world economy, what you know today will not be what you know tomorrow. So the ability to learn new things, AKA reading, writing, audiobooks, libraries, continuing education, You must never stop learning. It is the key to your success regardless of industry. And one final thing, you got to get off your butts and go to work. If you do not have the discipline to apply what you know, it's good for a trivia game. Knowledge without application is trivia. And the only way you can apply what you've learned here, what you will learn in college, what you will learn going forward, is to get off your rear ends and do it. And I wish you the best of success.
All right, enough questions from me. Thank you all, the students. You submitted some questions. We've picked some of those. They are lined up and ready to go. Panel, are you ready to hear from the kids? That's why we're here. Come on forward. Let's get your questions answered.
So my name is Giovanni Patel from South Fort Myers High School. I am the president of the South Entrepreneurship Academy. My question is for you, Alfie. What core values were important to you on your journey to success?
That's a great question. You know, the Lord is you know, my Savior, and I pray every night. I pray for wisdom, and I think that's the most important value that I have. You know, of course, it's family. Our core values. You know, my goal in this business, I always wanted, you know, buy my mom a house, and I was able to do that. Buy my mom a car. I was able to do that. So, you know, you have to have a foundation, and you know that's my foundation. And since 1989, I never missed a prayer at night. You know, I taught my wife how to pray and my son. So, that's important for me.
Thank you.
My name is Sharigna Medishetty, and I'm from Dunbar High School. My question is for Dr. Denise Carlin. How do you foster a spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation among students and staff in your school district?
Boy, that's a great question. So it starts at schools like South Fort Myers High School, right? You know, and all the schools that you all have. So one of the things that I always want you to encourage our students to do is to dream big, think big. And you can hear from the successful colleagues here on the dais, on the stage. Listen to them. Think about what they're saying. And so how do I do that? Well, as a new superintendent, getting out to schools, getting out there and talking to you, supporting your dreams, providing our career academies, you know, whether it's HVAC or one of the trades, or whether it's legal or medical, what have you. It's encouraging you to think differently, to think big. And I'll go back to something that Ron said, you know, it starts with communication skills. You know, how well do you get up and speak in front of people? How well do you write? How well do you read? And I would wholeheartedly agree with them. How hard are you willing to work? So my job is really like the chief cheerleader, right? I'm out there providing you with the opportunities and letting you know that I believe in you, and your teachers believe in you. Your principal, Mr. Matthews, and your other principals from the other schools believe in you. So how do you nurture that? You encourage, you talk to students, you let them know we're here for you. We provide resources, we provide opportunities like today. You get to be here to hear all of these amazing, amazing leaders. And I'll go back to something that Mr. Shell said early on. I never had that opportunity. I went to St. Francis and Bishop Verot right here in our community. I never had the chance to learn from amazing leaders like this. I was one of 7 children. I shared that with you before. One of the most inspirational people to me was my dad. My dad raised 6 girls and said, little funny, you'll never be beholden to a man. Sorry, guys, but he was raising strong girls, right? And took me to open a bank account and made sure that I always saved money. So getting back to you, I encourage you to do that. Dream big like my dad taught me. And I look forward to seeing you in your schools. I look forward to seeing you in your career academies. And most importantly, I look forward to seeing what you're going to do in life. My job is to encourage you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name's Eris Romero. I'm a Cape Coral High IB student, and my question today is for Mr. North. As a successful attorney, what do you believe are the most critical skills for young professionals to hone if they hope to make a positive impact in the field of law?
In the field of law, want to make a difference. Because no matter what type of law you're practicing, you're dealing with clients who come to you when they have a problem. So you have to have compassion, take the time to understand, and also be willing to work hard, not so much on behalf of yourself to make the money, but more importantly, to work hard on behalf of that client. And when I look at my own career, what I think about is that I have been blessed to be in this profession. I truly consider it a blessing every day to be an attorney. And one of the things that my parents always taught me is I've been blessed to be a blessing to others. So that comes with not just winning the cases, but also with the income that my career provides me, being able to give back to the community. My law firm and I, my family and I, we are very devoted to giving back to the community because as an attorney, I've been blessed with the amount of income that is not just enough for me and my family, but enough to support various causes around town. And we take great joy in that. So getting back to your question, you know, what is something that's good for someone who's looking to practice law to do? One thing is, and what's been said by everybody up here, is work hard, read, and be willing to step outside of your comfort zone because where you step out, that might be where you find true joy.
That was very powerful. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. That was a great question.
Hello. My name is Juan Ageno Herrera from Dunbar High School, and I had a question for Bill Daubmann. What inspired you to start My Shower Door company, and what has been the most rewarding part of your journey?
Wow. As you know from the intro that I was a professional hockey referee, right? I was traveling around. I've got two sons, 4 years apart. And when the oldest one was 11, he came down with cancer, and it was difficult for me to travel the country doing hockey games. So my wife and I had to think about what we could do to run a business so I could stay home and she could take care of not only Keith, but the other son. So basically, our career got turned upside down and we had to find something. So when I started the business, we started doing closet shelving. And this is up in Springfield, Massachusetts. And we worked out of the basement. I know people aren't familiar with basements, but up north it's the underneath part of the house. And we started doing closet shelving for contractors and homeowners. And then when the economy turned bad, a couple of the builders that we did work for asked us to do shower doors. And I didn't know the first thing about it, but I had a customer base. And I learned about it. And that's what got us started with My Shower Door. And it got to the point when we sold the business up north and moved to Florida, we didn't do closets anymore, only shower doors. And then we became the leader. We kept modifying, adjusting, changing products, and getting it to be the best shower door that you could get. We were named the #1 shower door in the United States by Glass Magazine. So that's a huge accomplishment of somebody that started doing closet shelving. So that's what inspired us. But life takes its turns, and you're going to find during your career, you're going to have to be able to pivot with those turns. The economy's going to change. Maybe the product you're selling isn't hot anymore, and you have to get an associated product. You have to diversify. So I think you always have to look for opportunities and then adjust accordingly. But that's kind of what got us started. The direction was set because of a life-changing event.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thanks for the question.
Hi, my name is Nishini Fernando, and I'm from Dunbar High School. And my question is for Mr. Ron Rice. As a .com development company, how do you expand your business? And do you think it is easier or difficult compared to brick or mortar businesses?
Expanding a business is really actually kind of simple. That's why most people screw it up. Basically, to expand your business, you have to talk to your customers. Within a block, within a mile, within 5 miles, within 10 miles, just keep building a bullseye and talking to customers about your expansion, whether it's your current product or something new. You know, the idea that I know everything, and if you don't believe me, I'll ask you, you can just ask me, that I know everything, is really a bad position to be in. What you want to do is, I know exactly what my customers need. I know exactly what my customers will buy, and go build that. Put that together. Get yourself out of the equation and put your customers at the center, and expansion will be great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Samuel Salamanca from Fort Myers High School. From Fort Myers High School, go Green Wave. And my question is to Gary Smith. What would you recommend somebody who wants to rise through the ranks of their job and become a CEO like you?
All right, so the question is, what would you recommend to someone who wants to rise through the ranks? Now, I'll just tell you my story. I didn't become CEO of BNI because I set a goal early in my career to become CEO. I became CEO because I set short-term goals that would take me through the steps that I needed to then be ready to step into that CEO role. So I had to become a really good estimator in order to be competent at estimating systems when I was very young. Then I had to become a very good project manager. And so I worked very hard to be the best project manager that I could be so that I could rise to the top of that group and become a leader at that level. And then I had to learn more about sales. And so I transitioned from being more technically minded to being more relationship minded. And then I actually learned a lot about leadership. I've heard a lot of things said here that are just really wise. Leaders are readers. That's the way I say it. Leaders are communicators. And I wasn't a great communicator, so I had to learn to be a better communicator. So I didn't have some magic way to jump from being an intern to a CEO. I became very competent at each level I got to. Then I expressed an interest in learning a new skill, and I got to that, and it really helped me to be pretty well-rounded once I was given the opportunity to step in as that CEO.
Thank you very much. Very insightful.
Good morning. My name is Isabel Fowler, and I'm a student from Dunbar High School, and my question is for Ms. Teri Hansen. As a female who started her own successful business, did you ever run into any discrepancies or biases in the workplace based on your gender? If so, how did you overcome them, and what advice would you give to other women who are struggling with these issues?
Isabel, thank you so much for that question. First of all, you know, I think of myself as a business owner, founder, professional, and so I personally have never thought, oh, I'm female, so I'm not going to be able to be successful, or I'm going to have barriers. I never possessed that mentality. My parents taught me that basically whatever I put my mind to, my heart to, my hand to, my passion to, I could be successful. And so first and foremost, and so that's really the first thing I want to say is for every female who is here, truly, there is nothing that you are not capable of doing. Women are smart, talented, capable, and I think have incredible talents and abilities that the male gender does not have. And so first and foremost, ladies, there's nothing that you can't do if you want to do it. Second of all, it's true. Give yourself a hand, all you females in the room. I will tell you, because obviously I am female, I will tell you that right now, one of the best things that you can do as a young person that will set you up for success is quit comparing yourself to other people, especially other females. Quit doing that. You look at yourself, you understand your own abilities, capabilities, and you put your mind and your heart to it. Now, to answer your question, Isabel, you know, when I started my company when I was pregnant with my daughter. I started in TV, then I went to the corporate side, and then after 10 years of marriage, I became pregnant. And I was in a corporation, very fast track to be one of the very first VPs ever in this corporation, female. And when I got pregnant, it was very different. And I did experience some bias with that, somehow thinking you cannot be a successful executive and a mom. And I did really experience that. And so I decided that I was not going to stay with that corporation and that I was going to go home and be a mom. And that's when I started my home-based business, which today, again, is one of the largest agencies in Florida. And because to me, I did believe that I could do both. And today, I have 75% of my workforce are females, and the majority of them are moms. And I have been able to support and demonstrate to those young moms coming up, you can be successful at both, and you can. And so I made my decision for my company because of that little bit of bias that I had, and but I want to encourage all the females here. You can be successful with family, children, and career, and you can do it all well.
Thank you so much.
Ron, wait just a second, Isabel, because Ron wanted to add a little to that too. Go ahead, Ron.
I have to chime in on this because it was a great lesson I learned many, many years ago. For those of you who don't know me, I built one of the largest .com consulting firms in the world. Starting with 10 employees, we ended up with 14,000, 47 cities, 14 countries. How many people here are familiar with eBay? Thank you. The Discover card, credit card. McDonald's restaurants. Thank you. All systems built by my company, majority of to run those businesses. Basically, anywhere I went in the world to compete for a computer consulting project, I won. Except one brilliant lady. I still can picture her in my mind or my nightmares everywhere I would go. If I had to compete against this young lady who was half my age, half my experience, all right, I wake up at night screaming, all right? She not only kicked my behind once, but a dozen times in multiple countries. I think she was following me. So, ladies, don't let anybody, including big, bad, dumb sales guys, yours truly, think that you cannot compete with me. I am living proof that you can defeat me.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Rojas. I'm from Lehigh Senior. My question is to Chief Tracy. I know that being a chief in one of the biggest departments is probably the biggest challenge of a job, and I'm wondering what your biggest challenge while on duty was.
That's a great question. Got to think about that for a second. My biggest challenge while on duty. So I'm going through like 30 years of like stuff, right? So I would say my biggest challenge actually happened here recently. And so for me as a fire chief, one of the things we try to do, as many of here have said, we try to bring in the best quality individuals that we can. So our department actually created a physical test for folks to be able to get in and get hired in our particular job. So one of the things that would say the biggest challenge for me is that we had an applicant that came from South Florida to come apply for the job. And as he was going through it, he was the 105th candidate to go through this physical test. And as he went through that particular physical test, he actually went to cardiac arrest. He actually died. And so for me, that was the hardest moment I've ever had in my whole career. As many ups and downs and fires and vehicle accidents and life-saving, birthing babies and all these other great things that we have. It was a situation as a fire chief to be able to have someone who was in my watch, if you will, was at my station with my crews. And granted, we had everything done right. Everything was approved, everything was here, legal, da-da-da-da. We had nurses, we have doctors, we had, immediate response, and this person still succumbed to a situation. So that's something that I will have to carry for my life, of knowing that even though there's nothing we did wrong, there's nothing that we could have changed, this was a moment in someone's life, and he actually happened to be the same age of my son at the time, 22 years old, and actually be able to have to deal with that. That was probably the biggest challenge. And so one of the things I found in my life is as you deal with situations that happen, to understand that there's always something you can learn from every situation, whether it's good or even situations that are bad. You can learn from your successes, you can learn from your failures. So one of the things that helped me to understand is that as you're dealing with situations and challenges present, sometimes you have to sit back and say, you know what, I can't control this situation. We had all the whiz bangs and doodads and cardiac monitors and drugs and experience, and I'm a paramedic myself, actually other sleeve, paramedic myself, and so we had all that, but we still could not change the trajectory of this person's life, and he succumbed to his elements. So that's my biggest challenge, but through that challenge, we've actually been able to actually look at and say how special the moments are, how special people are, and sometimes in life we take people for granted. There's people here that you probably don't even know that you're sitting in the audience with here today. And many of you guys have not taken 2 or 3 seconds to take the time to learn someone else's story. And so through that, that death of that individual, I learned his story. His name is Nathaniel Wilcox. I know his story inside and out. I could preach that story, that message. Why? Because I've talked to his mom, I've talked to his parents, and we've been able to actually console each other through this. So one of the things I would actually, in that challenge, kind of push upon you all is to get to know people, right? I didn't know I'm sitting next to the man who created eBay and all the other stuff. I didn't know that, I'm sitting right next to the man, right? So this is an opportunity to get to know him or get to know Gary or Denise, and there's so many other people. So as you're here today, if you guys can, take 2 or 3 seconds, 5, 6, 7, get to know someone in there, because you never know when those individuals that you are bumping up into with, that you'll need them or they'll need you. So please build those relationships, develop those bonds, but that would be the biggest challenge that I have, that I've had to deal with, and yeah, we're dealing with it.
Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Sarah Kohler, and I go to Estero High School, and my question is for Joe North. What steps did you take during and after high school to become an attorney?
So my journey has been, I graduated from Cypress Lake High School in 1983, and then I went to the Citadel, which is a military college up in Charleston, South Carolina, for my undergrad. And when I got to the Citadel, I was happy just being in college, okay? I wasn't thinking about what happens after college. I wasn't thinking about grad school. Fortunately for me, they say iron sharpens iron, and I think I've heard it here today, be careful who your friends are. So when I got to college, all of my friends were already talking about the next step, what they were going to do after college. And they asked me, I said, well, I don't know. But then I said, you know what? I wouldn't mind going to law school and becoming a lawyer, because I think I want to be able to help people. And at the time, my grades were okay, but not what they should have been. Why? Because I was on the track and field team. And I was having to spend a lot of time away from studying to participate in track and field. I was there on a scholarship. So I had to make that difficult call to mom and dad and ask them if they could pay for my college. And without hesitation, they said, yes, you can come off the track and field team, and they mortgaged the house. Our house was already paid for because my dad built it with his own 2 hands. But they went down to the bank, got a mortgage on the house so that I could come off the track and field team, so that then I could get better grades to go to law school. So when I got to law school, I put a note on my refrigerator door. It just had a few words on it, Mom and Dad. Because I, like you and like all of you out there, you've got a support base who they're proud of you, and they support you, and they want to see your dreams come true, just like my parents want to see my dream come true. So that gave me a lot of motivation. And you take motivation from different sources. That was mine. and you're going to find your motivation, whatever that is. And I worked hard in law school, graduated, took the bar exam just once, passed the bar exam, came back home, and started practicing law. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I wanted to practice here in Fort Myers because I thought that I would find it special to be able to help people who I knew, who I had grown up with. So those are the steps that I took. And I would say this. I know sometimes a career can seem like, well, I got to do so many years of this and so many years of that, or so many years of this or that. I heard Oprah Winfrey say one time, when I think one of her guests said, well, I don't want to do that for 4 more years. And then she asked her guest, well, you're going to live those 4 years no matter what, right? So don't hesitate to go ahead and use those 4 years to build on what you're going to be doing for the next 40 years. That's the way to look at it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great question.
How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. My name is Joshua Giddens, and I'm a student at Oasis High School. My question's for Bill Daubmann. And I have a window cleaning business, and I was just wondering, how could I scale and grow that window cleaning business, and how did you scale your business?
Wow, congratulations, by the way. I wish I started earlier, and I'll tell you this. We didn't even start business till I was 31 years old. So if you're, 18, 19 years old now, and you already have a business, you're way ahead of the scale right now. Now, to business, look at it as the 3 Ps, right? You have a product. In your case, it's a service. And then you have to have a process, and you have to have the right people. Once you have that, you have the perfect triangle. So you have a service that you know people want. Everybody's got windows, and they all want to have them cleaned. Now, do you have a process set up? That's how you scale, so that you can do it the same over and over, and it's repeatable, it's scalable, and you can teach somebody else to do that as you grow. And then it's just getting the right people. So you've got product, people, and process. The biggest thing, and this goes back to what Ron was saying, you can scale anything. You have to have a process. It has to be repeatable. So everything that you do now, you should be documenting. When you get there, where do you set up the ladder? Where do you put your bucket? What kind of water are you using? What kind of materials are you using? Have it all documented, so when you're ready to get another crew or another truck, you do the same thing. When we started my shower door, I started with 1 truck, and I was hiring firefighters who had great schedules to work part-time for me. But one thing I learned from the firefighters is they all drove the ambulance, and it didn't matter if the ambulance was in for service, the next ambulance they got in was set up the same way. So when you're in a hurry in a life and death situation, you know where each part is that you need. I would suggest you do the same thing in yours. I did it in my business. Every single truck is set up uniformly. So it doesn't matter if one truck is out of service and I have to put a crew in another truck. Every single part is in every single truck in the same location. So that's setting your process up. That's the big key to scale. And then teach somebody. Don't always do the work yourself. You have to teach somebody that, and then it's repeatable. That's how you scale. Great question, and congratulations.
Ron's got a little bit more advice for you, too.
Where is your business located? Where are you guys at?
Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and
Okay.
I don't mind going to Naples, around
From your house, from your office, where are you at?
Fort Myers.
Okay. I need you to talk to, by brochure, by email, social media, whatever you choose, with everybody within 25 miles of your office. Okay. When they hear your name, they're going to think high quality, great process, window cleaning at a spectacular price. All right? If you can do that, you'll have a multi-million-dollar business within 2 to 3 years. If you don't, you will fail. Which do you choose?
Multi-million-dollar business.
Attaboy. Good choice.
And he wants to be sitting up here, Ron.
The one thing that kills all businesses is no one knows about you. Okay, mom and dad don't count. All right? You got to get out. The closest, best customers are the ones closest to you, and then expand from there. Go get them.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, can I just say one thing real quickly? I need a window washer. Can I get your card? I totally do. I was just thinking about that.
I've got a card.
All right, here we go. All right, good deal.
There we go. That's how you make connections.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Nicholas Reyes, Vice President of FCA, and from South Fort Myers High School. My question goes to Alfie. What did you manage to grow a business and career from TV?
So TV, like I said, when we started TV, that's when everything started rocking and rolling. So, and then we also have the radio. So everything sort of works all in one. You have the radio, and then you have the workshops, and so they all intertwine. So you can't just really do one thing. So one thing promotes the other marketing, and the other marketing, the radio, the TV, and then, when you have things started happening when we had Sean Hannity start to do endorsements for us, and then we have we just have a new one right now. Glenn Beck just started this month, and we've really never wanted Glenn Beck because I felt he was too negative. But then he started changing. He started changing and calming down a little bit. So, and I feel like he does one of the best endorsements out of all of them right now. So, but the TV is something that, and Teri can probably tell you this much more than I, it doesn't start right away. If we would have really just based everything on the amount of people we got from TV, the first 3 or 4 or 5 months, we really didn't get anything from it because people have to see it, and we've been doing it now for over 10 years. So you have to give it time if you're going to do TV. You got to give it time to reap the rewards.
Thank you so much, Alfie.
Joe?
So I wanted to follow up on something that Alfie just said. I'm an attorney at a law firm, and I need for clients to know that I'm there to help. But the only way, other than word of mouth, to get that message out is through advertising, which, Teri will tell you because she's helped so many businesses get the word out about services that they have to offer. And like Alfie was just saying, you can't just put it out there and hope that within a month or 2 months or 3 months that you're going to reap all of the rewards. It's like going fishing. Sometimes you got to throw that hook out there and just let it sit for a while and enjoy yourself while you're waiting for something to bite. And do something that stands out. For me, I've got a radio jingle that I think is different than any other commercial that you hear on the radio. And then for my billboards and buses around town, we use this bright yellow that when you first see it, it's almost ugly. But after you see it so many times, it starts to grow on you. So do something that stands out, and as Alfie said, keep it out there for a long, long time, and it'll pay dividends for you.
And,
Chief?
And just go on what's been talked about. So when you think about standing out, you as individuals, you also have your brand. So for me, I'm a brother. You can see I'm a brother. But this brother got this big old mustache, right? So this mustache is something that's going to be rememberable. So this is my marketing tool. It's my branding, right? This is who I am. So I think it's kind of stylish. Some people may deny, but this is something that actually allows me to be different and be rememberable. You may not know my name, but you'll say, man, I remember that dude, that brother with that mustache, with the little curls, right? So find something that helps you, as Joe said, to stand out and be different. Be different.
Awesome, thank you. Good morning. My name is Roslyn Warkuski. I'm a student at Ida Baker High School. My question is for Ms. Teri Hansen over here, who I accidentally matched with today.
All right.
In your opinion, what is the future direction of marketing, especially with the growing influence of AI and social media? Additionally, how might the potential bans on platforms like TikTok affect the marketing landscape?
What was your first name again?
My name is Roslyn.
Roslyn. Thank you for that question, Roslyn. We're in an interesting time right now from a marketing perspective. I've been in business and been in marketing for 40 years. I have literally seen the full spectrum. I started when we had no cell phones, no computers. We wrote on a typewriter. We didn't have voicemail. I mean, it was a totally different, archaic time. And so I've seen this amazing change that has happened in 40 years, and it continues to change. And so right now, we're in a very interesting time in marketing because, you know, marketing it's all really about a lot of the things that are being said here about answering about TV and all. It's about reaching the right people with your message. So if you're a window washer, you want to reach the people who have a need to have their windows washed. If I don't have a need, then I'm not going to be ready to buy. And so, but you got to reach the right people to tell them what you're offering, what you're doing, and you got to reach them enough times so that they know who you are, and they know when they have that need, they're calling you. I don't need Joe today, but if something were to happen, God forbid, because Joe has a lot of reach and frequency, constantly on the air, constantly everywhere I turn, there's Joe. I know if something happens, I'm calling him. So because we're in this time, we've got demographics and businesses like Alfie. His clientele are more older adults. They use traditional media. They're on social media, but they're still watching TV. They're still listening to the radio. They still read the newspaper. But then you have other businesses that are other demographics like you guys, 20-year-olds. Guess what? They're not reading the newspaper. They're not reading. So we're in this era right now from a marketing standpoint where you have to really understand every opportunity available to you from a marketing perspective and understand what your business is and who you're trying to reach, because you've got to cater to a lot of different and use a lot of different channels. As far as social media and the influence of AI, AI is really tricky, and there's going to be a lot of focus on that this year and in the coming years. I would just say individuals need to be very cautious. When from a marketing perspective, we see people and we see businesses, and we can actually look at websites, we can look at businesses, their blogs that they're writing. We literally have a tool that we can see that was not written, that was AI written. And that is a huge mistake to totally rely on AI. You can use AI in marketing for idea generation, for getting something started, but individuals who are totally relying or think that it's going to completely replace, very, very dangerous right now. And in fact, there are companies out there who are using AI and that are, because what happens, you have to understand with artificial intelligence, it is using any available source that is out there, and it is aggregating it, it's collecting it, and it is basically pulling it in and using it. Well, what's happening is there is literally copyright infringement happening in AI because people are taking things, and AI doesn't know, it's machine learning. It's pulling in copyrighted stuff that people are then taking, and you're going to hear a lot more about lawsuits happening, even with photography. Companies that think they can go online, they can pull photos off the internet. Well, guess what? There are AI tools right now that companies are using that are searching and finding companies that are stealing their photos, and they're suing them. So it's a great tool, but it's not something to be totally relied on or think that it's going to replace the hard work of writing and doing custom writing or custom generation. So it's really an interesting time, and it's still evolving, but from a marketing standpoint, it's good to be aware, stay on top of what it can do to you for you to benefit, but not be solely dependent upon it.
Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Maya Edwards, and I'm a student at IDS Baker, and my question is for Ms. Teri Hansen. What was it that drove you into the business of marketing?
I love that question. So I went to the University of South Florida. First of all, I went to, back in the day, called Edison Community College, which is now FSW. And I went to school there first. I got an AS degree in business first. And then I thought I was going to go into law. I started taking criminal justice classes as well. Well, then University of South Florida, before Florida Gulf Coast University was founded and built, University of South Florida, which is based out of Tampa, had a campus here. And so I decided to go on because I got married at 19, still married, 43 years. And so I went to University of South Florida. Well, at the time, they only had criminal justice degree, education degree, and business administration, and criminal justice. I said criminal justice. So I went there. I was taking business classes, and which I loved. Criminal justice, which I have a minor in that, so if you ever need help, let me know. And so when in business school, you take marketing classes. As soon as I took those marketing classes, I knew this was for me. I was so energized. I loved everything about business school, but marketing, when I took those classes of marketing and advertising, it lit me up, and I knew that was my path.
Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly Heron and I'm also from Ida S. Baker, and my question is actually for all of you Elite 8. And my question is, how important was delegation when you first started your business, and what is the best way to stand out against competitors?
I'll cover delegation first. Bottom line is, you can only be so large if you're working by yourself. And nothing wrong with a single person doing a great service or product and working by themselves. But if you do decide to grow, employees and the ability to delegate are absolutely critical. And you know, it's a long, hard, thought-out process before you hire someone. Do a job description, feel the value, how much we're going to pay them, what's the value to the company, and then most importantly, being able to delegate the work. What was the second half of your question?
What is the best way to stand out against your competitors?
That's easy. Have more relationships than they do. If they have 5 prospects, you have 10. If they have 10, you have 100. If they know half the businesses in town, you know all of them. Whoever has the most connections wins.
You know, I think in the fire service, you know, delegation is so important, especially for me as a fire chief. I can't put out every fire, right? It's just not going to happen. So you have to have people that are actually out there doing the job. But the bigger portion of delegation is this, is when you delegate a task, you're empowering someone else to move forward. And then you're developing that individual to be able to do something. So when you delegate things, you're actually helping to grow. I'm going to try and get it right. Old people used to say this, and I'm going to try and get it right. They used to say that you can give someone a fish, or you can teach someone, how's it go? Anyone know that?
Someone a fish and they eat today. You can teach someone how to fish and they eat forever.
There you go. So when you delegate, you're actually teaching someone to do it on their own. If you as a leader continue to do each and every task, you will continue to do each and every task. Delegate to someone else. Let them grow, let them develop, and then hopefully they can delegate that same task to someone else.
And the chief said it right. Helping other people should be the focus when you're delegating. So learn to take great joy in seeing someone you work with succeed. If you take great joy in that, you'll get as much fulfillment out of having delegated that task as you would have if you had done it yourself. Standing out, there's a lot of ways to stand out. Sometimes it's technology for us. I do think Phil was right, it's relationships, if you have the relationships. And if I also say serving the community is a great way for our company to stand out. It's one of the reasons I'm here today, and I think hopefully that we were invited here because we've always tried to stand out as a great supporter of good work in the community. So lots of ways to do it. I think if you stand out in the community and build relationships, that is probably a better way to build lasting success than maybe just having a big advertising budget, although Teri may disagree with that.
I would weigh in and just agree with my fellow colleagues here. Delegation is extremely important, and at your age, that might sound like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be the one delegated to, right? Because you're just starting off on your path. So whether you're going to college, whether you're going to, tech school or trade school, or you've decided to join the military or going right into the world of work, chances are you're going to be the one that's delegated to. as you progress through your career and you wind up in positions like we are, we take a lot of pride in being able to develop other people. One of the challenges for the school district, and I'll just talk about this from our organization, is we have done a poor job of doing something that I call succession planning. Okay, so succession planning has everything to do with delegation, getting people ready to step into the next role. You heard Gary talk before. He didn't set out when he was your age to be the CEO of his organization, but he worked hard to be the very best at each segment of that organization when he was there. The same is true in the school district. And I'll say for me, never did I think I would be the superintendent of schools. Never. People that know me really well know that to be the truth. And here's why. I started out as a teacher. I loved teaching. That was like the best job until I became a principal. Then when I became a principal, that was the best job because I got to not only impact the 30 or 36 children in my classroom, I got to impact 1,200 students. So that was the best job. And I got to support teachers and delegate to them and empower them to do the work to make great things happen. I was really lucky. Our school, last school I was principal, we were an A school for 8 consecutive years. Do I take some pride in that? I do, but you know what I'm really proud of? Not the A. It was what the A stood for. It was our children were achieving. All of our children were moving forward in terms of reading, writing, science, social studies. It was really what I had delegated to the teachers. Your job is to teach. My job as the leader was to remove barriers. So that's a big deal. Let's talk about competition for a minute. This is something new to public school. Public schools have rarely had competition. Maybe a private school here and there would pop up. Now we have all of these charter schools. I heard some students from Oasis Charter here today. That competition, by the way, is really good for our school system. Do you know why? Some people are threatened by it. Some people say that's not a good thing. I say our country was founded on competition. We all want to get better. So charters and private schools help this public school system get better. And that's why I'm excited about competition.
That was wonderful. Yeah. Delegation is very important. If you're the one doing everything, it's going to be hard to grow. And the more you can delegate, the more time you will have to do the bigger and better things, to look at the bigger picture of your company. So you have to delegate to grow your business and to have it really continue to keep growing. And I was just talking to somebody on the stage here earlier and about growth. You want to grow every year. Everybody up here wants to grow. If you're not growing, I always say you're not growing, you're dying. But if you're not growing, it's not fair for your team, because if we're not growing and we're not pushing them, then they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to go somewhere else who has a better, boss that has a bigger thinker that is growing still. So you have to have goals and hit those goals, and then have bigger goals, but delegation will get you to that. And competition, you're always going to have competition, and I always tell our team that I feel like, we have competition with all the new advisors moving in town. That's a given, but we are their competition more than they are our competition, and that's how you want to, that's how you have to have that mindset that they're worried about us more than we're worried about them.
Real quick, if you can. We do need to get through everybody, and we're getting close to the end.
Very good. One of the things, we do a lot of sponsorships for veterans, retired veterans, and especially the Navy SEALs organization. So they brought me out to a demonstration once, and it was really cool. It's a very private demonstration they put on. So I had a dinner with a general that was retired, and one of the things he taught was delegation. The only way for these gentlemen to move up, or gentlemen and ladies, to move up within the SEALs organization is that the leader has got to teach them all of the processes that I talked about earlier and do it in the same way in which to grow. And if the leader ends up doing everything himself, he's doing a disservice to everybody under his ranks. His job is, the reason they call it leaders, is to lead them to success. teach them everything. And that's what delegation's all about. You have to give them that. Sometimes they're going to fail, but they're going to learn from it. I've failed 1,000 times. I've learned and gotten better each time I've failed. Failure is a necessity. And the other thing is you have to remember is this instant gratification that people try and get. They try and get to this level immediately. And it takes time. You have to learn and get your experience and take your hard knocks. You'll get there. So you got to delegate, let people fail. They're going to learn from it. It's not the end of the world. So that's an important topic.
So, real quick, in terms of delegation, I put that in the same arena as teamwork, and you got to be able to allow everyone on your team to fulfill their own skill set. I have never seen, no, I have a sports background, I've never seen a quarterback throw a ball to himself and run for the touchdown. You got to have others around you to do that. And then in terms of competition, when I look around this room, I know that you or you or you or you, no one can beat you being you. So don't worry about running somebody else's race. Run your race and be the best that you can be.
I know you're wrapping up, Rob, but to me, delegation really comes down to trust, first of all. And so if I'm delegating to you, I have to trust you to let go of that. And then I've got to let go of it. So I can't delegate to you and then micromanage you and go tell you how to do it. I need to prepare you, I need to teach you, train you, and you need to be trustworthy. So I extend my trust to you, that's delegation, to do a job. If you don't understand, you are accountable and responsible enough to say, I don't understand, or ask questions, because that creates a trusted relationship. And so you can delegate for 1,000,000 years, but if you throw a football, you have to trust that player. Trust that player is going to be there. Trust that they're going to catch it. They're prepared to catch it. And so trust is, to me, the foundation of delegation.
Thank you guys for your time.
There are 5 left, so if I can ask just the panel to, maybe not everybody has to jump in, or quick answers so we can get everybody in. We're running out of time. Go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Adrian Ruiz. I'm an IB student at Cape Coral High. Most people talk about their successes, but never their failures. Was there ever an instance where you experienced failure and your mindset shifted?
Every day. Every day.
I think I want to just jump in there. First of all, I think you have to change your mindset about failure. It's instead of saying, oh, I'm a failure or I failed, it's I learned. Because the greatest learning and the greatest lessons come from failure, not success. And so when you can change your mindset and quit being afraid of failure, that's going to be the first tipping point for you. And then understand everything. We have in our company what we call, after a situation or maybe a challenge or a problem, we say we're going to conduct an autopsy without blame. Let's evaluate. You know what an autopsy is? Let's look at what caused the problem, the challenge, the failure, whatever, what happened. Not finger pointing, it's your fault, or it's his fault. It's taking responsibility, looking at it, and figuring out what happened, and then change it. Make it, because that's where you're going to grow, that's where you're going to have improved processes. There's so many positive things that come out of that, and you can't be afraid that, because it's learning, not failure.
I would just like to say, being a Fort Myers person, Thomas Edison said, I have not failed, I have learned 1,000 things that do not work. And if you're not failing, you're probably not trying to innovate enough. But always remember, fail fast. It's okay to fail fast.
Thank you very much.
Emily Stoller from South Fort Myers High School. What are the most important characteristics or values that us high schoolers can practice today and moving forward that will help us be successful in life?
Oh, I would say be confident in yourself. Be willing to bet on yourself. So oftentimes we struggle with wanting to be fearful about going out there and being ourselves, but be yourself, be willing to bet on yourself, and I'll tell you right here, right now, I love betting on myself. I have confidence to believe I can get the job done. I can delegate, but also have confidence. So have confidence in yourself, know you're made to be who you are, and you're the right person for the right time at the right moment. Get out there and get it done.
Absolutely, and I would
You
add,
are fantastic. When you look in the mirror in the morning, what you see is awesome. If you don't, smack yourself and try again. Always remember, God didn't make any mistakes. You're fantastic. The only person that can stop you from doing what you want to do is you.
Absolutely. I was going to also add just two things because I totally agree with what was said. One is continual learner. Don't stop learning. Every single day I learn. I'm old. This hair's white. Great colorist. But I learn every day. The second thing is resilience, the ability to bounce back. After something happens, we've talked about failure up here. We've all failed at different things. The ability to bounce back and to say, you know what, that was a tough situation. It was a tough personal situation. Something happened professionally. My boss doesn't like me, whatever. You move on and you say, you know what, there's a way around this, and you bounce back.
For me, the greatest characteristics, first and foremost, is integrity. Do what you say. Be a person of your word. Do the right thing, period. No matter what, do the right thing, even when others aren't. Accountability. Take ownership for your own behavior, your own person, your own life, your mistakes. Take accountability and own it. And then passion, to me, is a huge characteristic that I think is very necessary.
All right,
Thank you.
Next.
First of all, good morning to all you guys. Thank you for coming here. My name is Jeremy Guerrero Brito. It's a Hispanic name. And I'm from South Fort Myers High School. My question is for everybody. What was the most unexpected roadblock in your journey to success?
Most unexpected roadblock.
Roadblock.
I guess the biggest roadblock is not knowing what you don't know. There's so many things ahead of you that you just don't expect. Obviously, COVID was a really big roadblock for a lot of us. And the ones that navigated it really well became successful. You can see yourself, you drive down the street and you saw lines of cars around Chick-fil-A because they pivoted overnight. They had drive-throughs set up with safety all set up. They were selling more chicken than you can imagine. They beat every drive-through, every fast food restaurant around because they pivoted. So they used it as an opportunity. So as an entrepreneur, we look for opportunities. Where somebody else is failing, where can we fill in and do the job right? And that's what we always look for.
I think fear is a lot of people's failure. They just don't want to put themselves out there, because they're afraid to fail. But we all fail, but it doesn't matter because you just keep on and just don't let someone tell you can't do. That's it happened to me when I first got in the business, and it was from my aunt's uncle or my aunt's. It was my uncle on my aunt's side, her husband, and said he was very successful, and he said, "Yeah, Alfie, you're gonna do all right, but you're not gonna be able to relate to people that have college education." And that was 43 years ago. He said that, so that was my driving point. I said, and he told me I can't do something that ticked me off a little bit. So, that might take something to tick you off, and put that up in your refrigerator and look at it every day, and don't let someone tell you can't do it.
One more thing for you, Alfie. Any chance I can get your business card, and if one day I can go to your work and shadow you.
I would love that. Absolutely, I love that.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's get our next question. And we're just looking to get, no, I'll do that. I'll take care of that for you. Just so we can, again, speed up. We're running out of time. Maybe just two of you, if you feel like jumping in to help out each student.
Hello, my name is Michael LeBrew. I'm from Oasis High. My question's for everyone, or two. AI is taking over the entire world. How is AI going to take over your industries?
I don't need a microphone. AI is not going to take over my industry. You know why? You can't beat human-to-human contact. Okay? I will always beat a computer system, even if he talks like that. I mean, whatever it is. My relationship building skill will never be able to be replaced by a computer. If your jobs can be replaced by computers, don't go into them. Pick something else. There are hundreds of opportunities that AI will never be able to do. It's coming, and it's going to be powerful, but it's never going to replace one-on-one relationship between two human beings.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
I do think AI is going to change our industry the same way automation did. In the 90s and early 2000s, we invested heavily in automation for welding processes and fabricating metal. And it displaced jobs, but it created higher productivity. And so I do think AI is going to be there. It's going to displace a few jobs. We're going to have to teach those people different skills, and we're going to become a more productive construction industry, which is going to be good for our country and for the business environment.
All right, thanks.
Hey.
Come on up.
Hi, my name is Liana Rampel. I'm a student at Estero High School, and my question for Mr. Rice is, would you advise your younger self to continue on with school? Would you advise your younger self to continue on with school?
Have you read my book?
No, sir.
One of my greatest regrets in life was not finishing college. It was a dumb decision on my part. Even though when I retired, I had 14,000 college-educated employees who called me boss. It still bothers me. You know what the biggest regret that I have of not finishing my college education? Me. I let myself down. One of these days, who knows, maybe I can buy a PhD. I don't, go back to school and finish, because I will tell you something, every now and then, especially when I see a group of bright future stars out there, all right, remember, learn skills. Get educated, but learn skills. I learned the skill of being a salesman, going door to door selling vacuum cleaners at 17, all right? It served me well over many, many years. I had a skill. I'm a salesman, and all that entails, get a skill.
And if I could add to that, my executive leadership team at BNI, 8 people, 4 of them have college degrees, 3 engineers and an accountant. 4 of them are very talented tradespeople. So continuing your education is the important thing. Completing college is not. Those 4 tradespeople all went to trade school, continued to learn, then learned to be leaders, learned to be communicators, they read, and they continue to improve themselves. So college isn't everything. Continuing to learn is everything.
Thank you.
And our last question.
My name is Zenaria Bradley from Gateway High School, and my question is for Teri Hansen. My question is, as a mentee or intern with your company, what can someone expect, and what can they expect as far as their role, and how are they measured?
Great question. First and foremost, let me just say that it's really, really important for all of you. If you don't have, not everyone was blessed like we were and had parents that mentored us and that really were part of that early mentoring. If you don't have that in your life right now, find people who can be mentors to you. Really, really important. And then the second thing is, and I'm going to answer your question, it's if you want to be mentored, you then have to be humble, coachable, and teachable. Because the only way that mentorship works is if you are receptive and you will be humble enough to take coaching, feedback, instruction, etc. For my company, we are very much about mentoring and we have many interns that come into our company. For me, a lot of companies will hire interns, and they just hire them to do grunt work. That's not what we do. My feeling is if we're going to bring somebody into the company to be an intern or to be mentored, we want it to be meaningful and substantial and intentional for them. And so we are very deliberate. We have a very structured program for them, but we give them real work. Not grunt work, not busy work, real work to learn whatever area of our business. There's many, many departments within my company and many tracks that you can go inside of a marketing, advertising, public relations kind of career. But it is, to me, the most important. If you're going to come in and you're going to be mentored or you're going to intern, make sure that you are going to walk away from there truly feeling like you have been given the opportunity to learn, gain insight, and to have real hands-on experience that gives you more insights into that career field. Because perhaps you do an internship and then you go, I don't really like this. We've had that happen. And so it's for us, it's intentional, purposeful, and real opportunity and real work.
If I could jump in too, I love that answer, and I just want to piggyback off of something that Teri said. A lot of us, we've talked about the influence of our family on our careers, and I was really lucky. I grew up in a really large family. My dad was the first college-educated person in his family. My mom was the first college-educated person in her family. So going to college was not an option in our family. But I will tell you, even though I had really great parents who modeled the way, I had other mentors really early on. I sought out. So I want to piggyback on what Teri said. It is so important to look outside of your family, look outside of your network, and find a person or two or three, because every single mentor you're going to learn from. At 26 years old, one of my mentors was Bobby D'Alessandro. She was the first female superintendent in the school district of Lee County. Remember, before I told you, that was never my goal. But guess what? After I was sworn in, she said, this was always my goal for you. I met her at 26 years old. Didn't know that. She had never really shared that. I think she had prayed for it, hoped for it. I actually got to spend the first day with her when she was superintendent. We had a tragedy in our community. Some of you may have, your parents may remember it, you may not. We had a superintendent in this district that was shot and killed in his office. Bobby D'Alessandro was the number 2 in that office. She ascended into the superintendency that night, the night after he had been killed, and she served as superintendent for 3 years in our district, moved on to Cambridge, Massachusetts, and adjuncted for Harvard. That was one of my mentors. I was so fortunate to get to learn. I didn't know she was teaching me to be a superintendent, but all of those things that we've talked about today, hard work, honesty, integrity, saying what you mean and then doing it, and working hard, all of those are important things that Bobby taught me, and hopefully I'll have the opportunity to do that with one of you today.
And then the second part of my question was, for high school seniors like myself, if they wanted to intern with you, how would they go about that process?
You talking to me? Yeah.
Real quick.
So we do have an organized internship program, and so if you would talk to me afterwards, I'll give you the contact person inside my company that you could reach out to, and we can talk about what areas of interest you have and go from there.
Thank you.
How about a round of applause for our students? Great questions from them. Okay, for us to wrap up, 30 seconds, parting shots, words of wisdom, final impact. We'll just start that way. Teri, you first. Pressure's on.
Words of wisdom? Okay. Remember what I said, truly, you are capable of anything that you put your mind to. You are smart, you are talented, and it's find your passion, find what you love doing, find out what interests you. And what I tell a lot of students when I mentor them or counsel them, do not choose something because of money. Choose something because of passion, and the money will follow you. So be passionate about what you're doing. When you do it, commit to it, be diligent, persevere. It is hard work, but success follows passion, in my opinion.
I agree with everything that Teri just said, and I would also add that whatever you do, try to help somebody else. If you help somebody else, whether it's your next door neighbor or someone in the community, it'll always come back to you. You will do well, everyone will do well. And my wife, who is in the audience, she's going to kill me for saying this because I say it all the time, and she said, you got to say something else. And that is, I believe in a continuous circle. We are part of a circle that never ends, and it starts with me, and you guys are all in that circle, and we're helping one another, and the circle benefits because we're all helping one another.
The one thing I'd like you to leave with is every day that you're at school, you're learning. And it's not just about math or science. It's about those relationships. You're going to have teachers that you don't care about, that for some reason you don't have a connection. But you're going to have other teachers that you love, and you'll learn better because of that. It's the same way in business. You're going to have a boss you don't care for. I had it in sports. There was coaches I played for I didn't care for, but I learned. And when it came time to be leadership, I took the traits of the ones that I liked, and I did not follow the ones that I didn't like. And that's all part of learning. So you're going to find that how people treat you, you're going to be a direct reflection of that as you start to lead people. So every day you come to school and every relationship you have, you're learning. You're going to filter out what you don't like, and you're going to highlight what you do like, and that's what's going to make you a person and a better leader.
I would like to, and there's so many good things up here. I hope you took notes, mental notes. But one thing I would say is that you're going to have, in your lifetime, 3 to 5 opportunities that's going to change your life. It's going to be only 3 to 5. Now, a lot of people will know it's an opportunity, but might be afraid to take that opportunity, so they let that one go. Then you have another one that comes. But look out for the opportunities, because literally there's only 3 to 5 in your lifetime that will change your life. Ours was, being able to move to Maryland. I had an opportunity to move to D.C. to run this office. And if my wife didn't go with me, if she didn't want to go, we would not have done it. But that was a big opportunity. But there's opportunities in everyone's lifetime. But look out for those opportunities and jump on them when you know it's right.
So everything they've said, just 2 other things as well. Set the bar high for yourself. Set it really high, higher than you thought you could ever achieve, because you never know. You reach for the stars, you get the moon, right? And then secondly, and really importantly, and this starts right now in high school, surround yourself with people that challenge you to be the best you can possibly be. Make sure your peer group, boys and girls that are around you each and every day, make sure they're challenging you to be the best person. If they want to make the bad choice, that's up to them. You're not part of that. If they want to help you be a better person, those are the people that you want to have in your life. Remember, in your life, I like the 3 to 5, so I'm going to tell you this. 3 to 5 people in your life will truly be friends, true friends. Others are called acquaintances, people you know. 3 to 5 people will be your truest friends ever. Find those people in high school and stick with them even into college or post-secondary, whatever you choose to do. But surround yourself with greatness.
Lots of good advice there. And I'm just going to repeat some things, so that all these things have been said. Keep learning. Be a lifelong learner. Don't stop learning after you get out of college. Don't stop learning after you get through your first job. Don't stop learning until you go to the next world. And you'll be happier, you'll be contented, and you'll actually stay young, I believe. And then the other thing, Denise touched on, surround yourself with great people, and they will lift you up. And hopefully you'll lift them up too, and you'll find that to be very rewarding.
So the first thing I'd like to say, learned so much from these great elite 8 up here, the 7 that I've learned from today, and I definitely learned so much from you guys, and appreciate you guys for having me. So my first thing to say is that as a individual, as a person, and I know this through fire training and working at the fire academy, there is always more in you than when you think you're ready to give up. I'll say that again. We are hardwired as people to set a fail point of saying it's time to quit. And that is for survival, right? That's how we teach that. And so one of the things that you have to look at, just like your car, when you're driving your car and you forgot to go to the gas station and that low gas light comes on, bing, does that mean you're going to run out of gas right then and there? No. You have a little bit more miles that you can go before you have to fill up. And I say that to say this, is that always know that when you feel like quitting, when you feel like giving up, when you feel like there's no way that you can succeed, please know that there is more inside you that you can give. You're not out of fuel yet. Push yourself a little bit more to make that achievement that you have. So as we talk about your goals and your dreams and things that you want to accomplish and things that you'd like to actually be successful in, don't quit. Figure out a way to push yourself a little bit farther. Thank you.
I guess since I'm last, I have to say something profound. So the bottom line is, why are you here? Why are you going to school every day? Let me answer that question for you. You're here to pick up, learn, and grow skills. And that could be a list of many different things. Whether you want to be a nurse, whether you want to be a lawyer, whether you want to be a truck driver, whether you want to be an auto mechanic, you need a series of skills gathered here, technical school, college. You must have skills. Skills that you have, you don't have to worry about automation because you know how to learn. You've got a set of skills. Like Gary said, you never stop learning. All right? The day you stop learning, you're either going to unemployment or you're planning on passing away. You never stop learning. Second thing, connections. The people you go to school with. Here on this stage, you have marketing, you have law, you have manufacturing, you have financial services, you have educational administration, you have manufacturing, you have fire, you have whatever I am. You have what all of those things are here. If you leave today without a connection, you're a knucklehead. Okay, these are folks who can change your lives. And if you don't have our email, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? So it's up to you where you want to go in the future. Just remember, never stop adding skills and never stop making connections, and you'll always have a great career. Thank you for your time.
How about that round of applause for our Elite Eight? Great job. Thank you to all. Couple round.